Hello, and welcome to episode 59 of Moms with Yarn. My name is Sharon. I'm known as Bronx Knitter One on Ravelry and Bronx Knitter on Instagram. Welcome! If you're a new viewer, thank you for tuning in. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for checking back in to see my sporadic posts. It's just been one heck of a time here, but you know, life happens and I can't always get in front of the camera. And today was really dark and dreary and humid and dreary, and it still is. And so we're gonna get right into the knitting because I'm gonna talk about the Tour de Fleece and the prizes being offered and what we're gonna do during the Tour de Fleece. So first up are finished objects. And the first object I made was the Presto Changeo sweater, which is, I believe I printed this pattern out several years ago. This is the second time I'm making it, but I got it from the Jimmy Beans Wool website. It's a free pattern by Valerie Wallace. I used a size 8 needle and I used Osterman bamboo. I don't believe I have, yeah, it's Osterman bamboo. And I know that it's 65% superwash virgin wool and 35% bamboo, and the color is 005, which in American English stands for peach. And it looks like this. Now, the buttons aren't exactly symmetrical, but I did the best I could. I hate sewing, but there's 8 buttons, and as the baby grows, you can make a bigger front panel. And it's too hot for the baby to wear, so this size that I made is 12 months. And it's been washed and blocked and seamed. I used a US size 8 needle, which is a 5.0 millimeter, and I believe I used 4 skeins to make this sweater. So it's going off to its intended party. My cousin and his wife just had a baby, so that's going in the mail. And then I made the round or pinwheel blanket. And I used, what did I use? Bernat Sparkle in Sport Weight. And I had 4 skeins of this as well. And the blanket is round. And it looks like this. And the white edging is acrylic also, as is the blanket. And I tried to kill the acrylic, but it didn't work out so well, and I realized that the only way the acrylic was gonna, or the edge was gonna stay flat is if because I blocked it and it still didn't go flat. So, and I steamed it and it still didn't go flat. So what I should have done, or could have done, was just reverse the edging, and it would have looked like this on this side, and it wouldn't curl like it is. So no hope for that, but it doesn't matter because the baby will be wrapped up in the blanket, and it's a pretty good size. Make a nice decorative piece. So I'm glad to have the acrylic out of my stash. I'm glad that I don't have to worry anymore about blocking it, because that was the biggest pain in the neck. It's round, it's not round, you pin it, you unpin it. The list goes on, and it was so annoying. So my next finished object was the Zig and Zag cowl by J. Yoon Park. And it's a paid for pattern on Ravelry. I used on the round everyday fingering and, oops, in the sterling tweed colorway. And I used Simply Socks sock yarn. And it's the sterling tweed color is actually a multicolor, so the white just offsets that, and the diamonds are different styles. So I made this for my son's girlfriend who asked for one, and it's a nice size. She's a lot thinner than I am, so she can fold it over. She just wanted something that was going to keep the back of her neck warm, and being doubled, that is easy to accomplish. So this has been washed and blocked, and I only had a partial skein of the white, but I had a full skein of the on the round, and so it came out. I love the contrast, I love the colors. The overall appearance is gray and white, but when you get up close you can see that it's a lot of colors. And blocking this thing also was a bear. Like, what do you block a cowl on? So I blocked it as best I could, and the seam is right here, which you can barely tell. I say barely because I ended on the wrong row. So anyway, if you're looking that close at the cowl, you're standing too close. So this is what it looks like. I'm very pleased with it, and now I can give it to her and she can find a place to store it for the summer. I can get some of this wool out of my house. Yay! So the next thing I did was I made the Marin shawl by Ysolda Teague, and I had tried 3 times to make this shawl and I failed miserably every single time. I don't know if I had the wrong yarn, wrong needle combination, or what. I just could not understand this pattern. I like to say that it was because I was an immature knitter, but I've been knitting for over 40 years, and even if I tried to make this shawl 5 years ago, I'm not an immature knitter. I speak English, so that wasn't the problem, and I couldn't figure out why I could not make this shawl. So I decided I was going to give it one last try, because nothing that you want this much should be that hard to make. So it is, I used Expression Fiber Arts, Superwash Merino Tencel Fingering. It doesn't tell you which proportion is which, but the colorway is Iced Lilac. And I blew through this thing. I love this shawl so much. I want to make another one, but so fast on the heels, I don't know. But this is the shawl. Can you see those little bow details? Oh my gosh. So this is a paid for pattern on Ravelry, and it is about my wingspan. It's not very deep, which I also like, because over time I've come to realize that my favorite shape shawl is the crescent. So this is perfect. Perfect color, perfect size. I did not block the bejesus out of it because The bottom part here is ribbing, and blocking, she said to stretch the ribbing. It says to stretch the ribbing as much as possible. So that's what I did. There's a fan blowing. It's hot in here. I blocked the ribbing parts out as best I could, and oh man, I love this shawl. There's nothing about it I don't like. Color, shape, size, beauty. I love it. I said, you know, if I ever got really good at doing this, then I would make it for somebody else. But I'm not ready to give it that old college try yet, just yet. So this is the shawl. It's beautiful. It's symmetrical in every way. I blocked it just right. So that is the Marin shawl by Ysolda Teague. I did not mention, but I used a size 5 needle, which is a 3.75 millimeter, and I want to say I whipped right through it, but honestly I took my time because going right was better than going fast, which coincidentally it happens to be the same theme that we're using for our Team Mom Tour de Fleece motto. Go well, not fast. So the last thing I have, and all of that stuff was stuffed in my Thank God for Bags bag, the Aquarius bag, which I called a Capricorn bag on the last one because clearly I can't read. But this is the Aquarius bag. It's made by Sheila from the Never Cast Off podcast. It has an Aquarius zipper pull, a nice handle. Here's her Thank God for Bags. And I stuffed everything in here. It was stuffed, but it fit. It's a nice sturdy bag, and it's been through some abuse because I take this bag with me everywhere. So that was in there. So I'm done with that bag because it's now empty, and I started working on the Smooth Operator Socks by Susan B. Anderson, and I am using Must Stash yarn, an OCD Perfect Sock, OCD Perfect Sock self-striping. Not that you need to know what her label looks like, but that's what it is. It has 12 colors. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 440 yards. And I'm using the Smooth Operator sock pattern, which is a paid for pattern on Ravelry. And I almost finished one sock because the pattern has you put in waste yarn, which is here, that white. And then I'm going to go back and pick up this heel as soon as I get finished with the second sock. So this is how far I am on the second sock. And I got pretty close. I got a pretty close match. So I'm pretty happy with these. And I'm not very familiar with doing afterthought heels and really how much space to leave before you did the toe. So when I did the leg, I did 52 rows. And so when I did the foot, I did 52 rows before I started binding off for the toe. But I left the toe open just in case I left myself too much room or not enough room. I left the toe open. I put them on some spare needles. which I am using to knit with, is actually the Haya Sharps US size 1, 2.25 millimeter. And I've already put in the waist yarn for the afterthought, so I'm doing my 52 rows for the foot. When I'm finished with this sock, I will find the spot where I want to add color. But the OCD comes in one skein, but it's actually 2 skeins inside. So this is the first one I used, and you can see all the colors in there. Pretty nice. And those are being housed in my Stitched by Jessalou bag, which is a love bag with rabbits and birds and squirrels or chipmunks. I don't know what those are. Really cute. I got it at New England Fiber Festival. Every time I walk past Jess's bags, I just get so happy because they're so cute and there's such a variety. And it's a nice size bag for holding my 2 skeins of yarn. So, there we go. Yes, it's kind of stuffed, but it's holding everything. And the socks will take up all the space and come out of there. So now we're going to talk about the Tour de Fleece, which is coming up tomorrow. Today is June 30th. So tomorrow you get to start spinning. So Team Mom is going to be what we're going to call ourselves, because it's only in the Ravelry group. I don't actually belong to any teams on the Tour de Fleece site, even though I go there and watch all of the pretty yarns go by. But I think that what happened was I participated in the Tour de Fleece in a particular group, and the team I was on, the ladies were cranking out like 850 yards of this, and it took me like 4 days to do 4 ounces, and I was so intimidated. So I'm thinking, I don't have a production wheel. How can they get out that many skeins? And I was so disheartened. Not that I wanted to win any prizes, because I don't really care about prizes, but you might. And with a smaller team, less players, you don't even really have to finish. You just have to start. You have to spin a little bit every day, take your time, make a yarn that you want to use, that you like, that you want to use. Find a braid or a bump of fiber that, you know, has been hanging around, waiting for some occasion. So then you could be eligible to win some of these prizes that I have picked out. I don't know exactly how many people are going to participate, but I picked up a bunch of prizes, and whatever's left over will be given away at a later date. So the first thing on the list is my Knit to Flatter by Amy Herzog. I have 2 of these, and some lucky person could get this one. The second prize is some Knit Picks, a skein of Knit Picks Hawthorne fingering weight, 357 yards, 80% superwash fine Highland wool, and 20% polyamide. I don't even know how you say that. Which also comes with some Colorings stitch markers by Ellie. Colorings by Ellie. She has a shop on Etsy, and you don't have to wait to get these stitch markers, but they're ring markers. They're adorable, and they kind of match the yarn. So that's the second one. And then the third prize is donated by a good friend of mine who wishes to remain anonymous. Thank you, you know who you are. There is Decadent Fibers, worsted weight, 80% merino blend, 20% mohair. It's in the cookie dough colorway. These are the colors. Oh, that's true. Beautiful. And it says it's approximately 490 yards. So that's a lot. It's beautiful. Another prize is also donated by a friend. It is Decadent Fibers in the colorway called Pulled Taffy. It's not showing up very true here, but it's pulled taffy. It's 55% wool, 45% mohair, approximately 8 ounces. Gee, I wonder if each of these is 8 ounces. 490 yards, because they both had their own tag. I'll have to weigh it and find that out. I accidentally pulled this tag off, but the winner will have the choice to get these 2 skeins. So, not bad for winning yarn. And the next prize is Paradise Fibers sent me 4 ounces of Ashland Bay Merino Tussa Silk 70/30 in Multi Jamaica. And the colors you see are exactly those colors. Now, I don't get along with merino, and I have a lot of it in my stash, but this has so many beautiful colors in it. It's a shame to make it waste away in my fiber cabinet. Besides that, I need room because I'm going to New England Fiber Festival again this year, and there's a big chance I'll get some fiber. So that is another prize. And then we get to the another big prize, which is more fiber. I'm going to twist it out of its bag. This is Susan's Spinning Bunny. I don't think she sells fiber anymore. It says T&S Falkland, 1 pound. I don't know what that means, but this is what it looks like. Also generously donated by a friend who wishes to remain anonymous. And these are the colors. And it's a good thing I don't get along with Falkland either, because there's 2 of them. So those are the prizes for participating in the Tour de Fleece with Team Mom. As always, must be a member of the group. The spinning that you have on your wheel before July 1st does not count. If you're going to post your pictures to Instagram, use hashtag TeamMom2017. And that's everything I have for you. Hope I didn't take up too much of your time. And I hope to see you again in 2 weeks. Until then, happy knitting.